Well, tonight we are starting to see some rain across central Indiana, which could impact your drive to your holiday destination.
Yeah, you can see the green on live Doppler 13 radar right now, and there's also a chance for some snow to mix in with it in some areas. Good evening. Thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Dustin Grove in tonight for Anne Marie Tiernan.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence, and Angela's in the Weather Center tonight, tracking if this wintry mix is going to have a big impact on our holiday plans.
What do you think, Angela?
I don't think big impact. I think the major impact, the fact that we've got those wet roads, and you will need some extra travel time the rest of tonight through the early part of tomorrow. Any accumulations look to be minor. If we get that change over to a rain snow mix or to some bursts of slushy snow, that would be one of the weather impacts later tonight and very early tomorrow. The when now through Thursday morning, the main impacts those wet roads with the potential of some slushy accumulations. What you need, allow that extra travel time. Make sure your car is ready for winter because it's going to look and feel like winter for the end half of the holiday weekend as we track some Arctic air moving in. What we're tracking now with live Doppler 13 radar, some pockets of steadier rain from Kokomo to Tipton, just north of Anderson into Muncie. So heads up Logansport, Marion, Hartford City, Portland, even steadier rain is moving in. As we travel to the south, the rain is starting to fill back in after a little bit of a break over the last hour or so. You can see this weather system extends back west through Kansas City, so we have several hours of rain working in our favor. Temperatures are above freezing in the upper 30s and low 40s, but the rain will continue to fall this evening.
All right, thanks, Angela. We'll check back in a few minutes. You can track the weather tonight and any other weather changes we have through the weekend on our live Doppler 13 weather app. You can actually zoom in all the way down to what's happening in your own neighborhood. It's free download in your phone's app store.
There we go. And tonight is considered one of the biggest drinking days of the year. You may have even heard people call it Blackout Wednesday.
It's when people, back home for the holidays, head out to get drinks or dinner with friends and family, and sometimes they can have one or several drinks too many.
Our Chase House spoke to state police and a lawyer about the consequences. And Chase, here's the question. How much could someone have to shell out if they're caught drinking and driving?
Let's say you've had about 4 beers and a shot at the bar. That'll run you about $30. And according to one lawyer, you'll have to pay more than 250 times that in fines and fees if you don't catch a ride home if you're drunk. Liquor will be flying off the shelves at some bars and restaurants Wednesday night as people celebrate Thanksgiving. But those drinks could cost you some serious cash if you find yourself in jail for driving drunk.
Depending on how intoxicated you are when you're arrested, could determine how long you have to be in jail.
Sergeant John Perrine with Indiana State Police says this day last year, less than a handful of people were charged with driving while intoxicated on Marion County highways and interstates. And according to IMPD, its officers arrested 6 people for DWI in that same time frame. Philip Hayes has his own practice as a criminal defense attorney. He says you'll likely have to pay thousands of dollars in court costs and lawyer fees if you're caught driving drunk.
You could be looking at between $5,000 to $8,000 on your first DUI.
Now, how does that compare to Uber prices? Let's say you're taking one from Kilroy's and Broad Ripple to 16-bit off of Mass Avenue around 8 Wednesday night. According to the rideshare, it'll run you about $42 for an Uber X and $50 for an Uber XL in Comfort. But if you don't have the money or don't prefer taking rideshares, Perrine says to have a plan B.
I would venture to guess that you have a friend or a family member that may not be out with you, that if you make that phone call at any time of the day, they would much rather get that phone call from you saying, I need a ride home, than getting a phone call or a visit from me saying you've been in a serious crash or killed.
So if you find yourself with your keys in your hand about to drive home drunk, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration wants you to remember drunk driving is the leading cause of death for those on the road. Reporting, Chase Howell, 13 News.
All right, thanks to Chase. There are important reminders. And tonight, a Metro police officer is under arrest, accused of domestic battery in front of a child. Whiteland police officers arrested the 7-year veteran Tuesday night. Investigators say they determined someone had battered and restrained the victim after they were called to a home in Johnson County. The officer who is currently assigned to IMPD's East District faces preliminary charges of domestic battery and strangulation. And the Johnson County prosecutor will make the final charging decision.
Also tonight, there's an arrest warrant out for an Indianapolis man accused of being involved in a shooting where 2 people got hurt. It happened on East 42nd Street near North Mithofer back on last Saturday, November 9th. Detectives say a tip from a witness led them to investigate Gerald Davy Franks. Court documents show investigators then reviewed video from a gas station, which they say showed Davy Franks removing a gun from the victim. Those documents also state the victim followed Davy Franks into the parking lot where they fought before 2 other people got involved and someone fired several shots. Davy Franks is now accused of robbery resulting in serious bodily injury.
On to more news. Representatives from Tyson Foods met with the Indiana Attorney General this week to respond to questions about suspected labor trafficking at its Logansport plant.
Todd Rokita told our Rich Nye today Tyson is cooperating with his investigation, but an Evansville company is not.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita served civil investigative demands to Tyson Foods in Logansport and Berry Global in Evansville. Rokita suspects the companies could be involved in labor trafficking, acting as magnets for immigrants with jobs for cheap labor. He says that puts tremendous strain on community resources and taxpayers to provide social services to an influx of people illegally entering the country.
If this is all a bunch of rumor and innuendo, and these companies are able to bunk that, I'll say that too. But, we want to get to the bottom of it and shed transparency and light on this.
Tyson Foods defended its hiring practices in a meeting with Rokita Tuesday. The company still must respond formally to the AG's investigation by December 4th. But Berry Global in Evansville, which makes plastic packaging products, is going to court to challenge Rokita's demand.
Rokita says his office is hearing from Hoosiers around the state about other companies that could be involved in human labor trafficking. At the State House, Rich Nye, 13 News.
All right, thank you, Rich. And tonight at 6 o'clock, Rich will share Tyson Foods' latest response after meeting with the Attorney General, and he'll also share how this investigation may impact attitudes toward immigrants in those communities. That's at 6 o'clock.
And a cybersecurity incident is under investigation tonight in Noblesville. The city issued a statement saying it affected some of their systems recently. Well, the statement went on to say, quote, "Protecting the security and privacy of personal information is of the utmost importance to the city." The city also says that it's taking this matter seriously and will continue to take measures to protect information.
There is a new kind of roundabout open tonight in Beech Grove.
Yes, this morning the city opened a new peanut roundabout. It's like the shape of a peanut with the shell. And that intersection is at Churchman and Perkins and Southern. It replaces the previous triangle-shaped intersection, which city leaders say confused drivers and led to several accidents. All right, and happening now, it's packet pickup time for tomorrow's Drumstick Dash.
That's right. The expo and packet pickup for the annual run benefiting the Wheeler mission is taking place at the Indiana State Fairgrounds Ag Hort building. You can pick up your packet, including your race shirt and your bib, until 6:30 tonight, so a little less than an hour and a half to go. About 15,000 people are expected to take part in tomorrow's Drumstick Dash in Broad Ripple.
And it is the largest fundraiser of the year for Wheeler Mission. Listen.
So when everybody crosses the finish line tomorrow, they're literally moving their feet so others can eat. All the proceeds go right into Wheeler Mission. So what that means for us is it helps us to provide food, shelter, and care to people who are experiencing homelessness.
For the folks in need. So this is the 22nd year for the race.
WTHR is once again a very proud media partner of the Drumstick Dash. Running to get some exercise in before you eat that turkey and pumpkin pie. And all for a good cause.
For an important cause.